So again, watch out for those two umbilical towers, which will separate from the booster. That first umbilical separating, indicating we're about 35 seconds away from launch. Has been issued. That second umbilical retracting, the booster is beginning to fire. We have preliminary booster ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of Reed Wiseman, Max Sarayev, and Alexander Gerst, the international crew on their way to the International Space Station. Good first stage performance. The Soyuz delivering 930,000 pounds of thrust from its 4 boosters and single core engine. The first stage of the Soyuz measuring 68 feet in length and 24 feet in diameter, burning liquid fuel for the first 2 minutes and 6 seconds of the flight. Now just about 1 minute 10 seconds into the flight of Soyuz TMA-13M, velocity of the vehicle at 1,100 miles per hour. All indications good for the rocket as it continues the first stage, continuing to fire. Next major event will be the jettison of the escape tower at the very top of the rocket. And also be sure to watch for the boosters to break off, indicating the end of the first stage. Getting confirmation, first stage separation, you can see the 4 strap-on boosters now breaking away. They have been jettisoned, completing their job, and they'll drop away at an altitude of 28 statute miles. The Soyuz craft itself now traveling at about 3,350 miles per hour. Getting indication the second stage performing as expected. And getting confirmation the launch shroud surrounding the Soyuz craft has been jettisoned. The rocket's altitude now at about 48 miles. A little over 3 minutes into launch now. The Soyuz craft traveling at a speed of about 4,700 miles an hour. 3 crew members giving the 2,000 pounds of thrust depending on the altitude. It'll fire for about a total of 3 minutes and 28 seconds. The stage is going to continue to burn until about the 4-minute 43-second mark. Soyuz uses what's called a hot staging technique. So the third stage will ignite while the second stage is still burning. That's why the Soyuz has that small open area in between the second and third stages. Again, continuing to get views inside the cabin. Again, keep your eye on the giraffe hanging in the top left corner. The crew is always using a token to signify when the crew is in microgravity, so you'll see that float at the end of today's flight. Continuing to get good reports. All systems reported as nominal, going as expected. And pretty soon coming up on second stage shutdown and third stage ignition. And getting confirmation the second stage is shut down and separated. The core booster separated at an altitude of 105 miles. Soyuz now being propelled by a single engine of the Soyuz's third stage. That engine providing 67,000 pounds of thrust. It'll burn for about 4 minutes and 2 seconds. Getting reports of third stage engine performing as expected. So again, continuing to get good indications from the vehicle as the third stage engine continues to fire. It burns for 4 minutes and 2 seconds. So it has about 2 minutes and 20 seconds or so left in its firing time. And you'll continue to get a view from here inside the Russian Flight Control Center. Now tied in to the rocket as the third stage continues to send the astronauts into its preliminary orbit. And now 7 minutes 30 seconds since that launch from Baikonur. Velocity of the vehicle now almost 13,500 miles an hour. And once this third stage delivers the Soyuz to orbit and the module is separated, again, a series of pre-programmed commands will be executed in order to prepare the Soyuz for orbital operations. The stored commands are known as time-tagged commands. They allow many of the Soyuz systems to be automatically activated by onboard computers at very precise times that are already stored on board. Again, all indications continuing, the third stage continuing to perform as expected. Just about 30 seconds now expected until third stage cutoff and separation. In just about 15 seconds now. And you saw that bit of a jolt for them as that third stage cuts off and separates. The single liquid fueled engine shutting down and dropping away at an altitude of about 125 statute miles. The third stage will perform an avoidance maneuver by opening a valve in its liquid oxygen tank. But again, the third stage separated. And getting confirmation, all systems being deployed successfully. Confirmation of spacecraft separation. The capsule, the crew inside, safely in orbit. Automatically executing the pre-programmed commands to deploy those antennas and solar arrays. Soyuz itself now orbiting at an altitude of about 143 miles by 118 miles. That orbit will be raised systematically over the course of the next 6 hours as the Soyuz craft draws closer to the International Space Station. And control of the spacecraft from here on out will be overseen from the Russian Mission Control Center just outside of Moscow.